You've completed your 5th week of studies in New Testament Exposition 2. This lesson covered the pastoral epistles, and the following important details were discussed. The pastoral epistles, 1st and 2nd Timothy and Titus, make a unique and indispensable contribution to the writing of the New Testament. Supplementing Acts, they provide vital instructions concerning qualifications for church leaders and other important matters for governing and administering the church. Most likely, they were the last letters Paul wrote during his long missionary career toward the end of his apostolic ministry. Timothy and Titus were Paul's apostolic delegates. That's the best description of their ministry assignments, who were temporarily assigned to their present locations in order to deal with particular problems that had arisen and needed special attention. So, they were not technically permanent resident pastors of a church. Thus, the question as to whether or not we should refer to these as pastoral epistles. The pastorals are not merely letters giving advice to younger ministers or manuals of church order. They are Paul's instructions to his special delegates when the aging apostle would have felt a keen responsibility to ensure the orderly transition from the apostolic to the post-apostolic period. It appears that 1 Timothy and Titus were written subsequent to Paul's release from his first Roman imprisonment, but prior to a second one, which was much more severe. And during that is when we know that Paul composes 2 Timothy. And this turns out to be the final letter that we see of his in the canon. The authenticity of Paul's letters to Timothy and Titus were unchallenged until the 19th century. With regard to genre, it was discovered that the pastoral epistles conformed to the standard form of the ancient letter, including an opening salutation, a body with features such as thanksgiving in main content, and a closing greeting. Pastorals are often identified as exemplars of the paranetic or hortatory letter, which contain a series of exhortations to its recipients. They are foundational documents, not just ad hoc instructions which had no lasting implications. These documents were central to the development of early Catholicism, which Ernst Käsemann defined as the characteristic movement toward the great church which understands itself as una sancta apostola. With regard to specific textual issues, we uncovered the following. It appears that the offices that were delineated in the pastorals include 1. Overseers and elders, 1 Timothy 3, 1-7, and Titus 1, 6-9, and 2. Deacons, 1 Timothy 3, 8-13. With regard to the phrase husband of one wife, 1 Timothy 3:2, or husbands of one wife in 1 Timothy 3:12 and Titus 1:6, the most likely reading is one woman man, that is devoted or committed to one woman, that is, a person is not unfaithful. The theme of the proper ordering of the church provides a thematic context for the discussion of the role of women in 1 Timothy 2:15. The saved through childbearing might indicate the woman's place of nurturing and admonition toward her children, a role which will save her from lack of fulfillment. The church leaders or elders' qualifications are described in Titus 1, 6-9. These qualifications are similar to those in 1 Timothy 3, 1-7. Leaders are to be blameless, husband of one wife, one woman man. Children who are believers and not disobedient. The overseer is entrusted with God's work and so should be blameless. And this is further described as not overbearing, not quick-tempered, not given to drunkenness, not pursuing dishonest gain, hospitable, love for what is good, self-controlled, upright, holy, and disciplined. After these qualities are laid out, a key aspect of an elder's work is focusing on sound doctrine and refuting error, which leads to the next section of Titus chapter 1, verse 10-16. In 1 Timothy 1:15, 3:1, 4:8-9, 2 Timothy 2:13, and Titus 2:4-8, we uncovered a repeated phrase, trustworthy saying. It's likely that this was used to mean that the statement was worthy of the fullest, most unequivocal recognition, and is used as a response is not apparent in the saying itself. The primary contribution the pastorals make to the canon is qualifications for the church leaders in 1 Timothy 3, 1-12, and Titus 1, 6-9, and the role of women in the church in 1 Timothy 2, 9-15.